This is Lauren.
This is Trey.
And this
is the Partnership Podcast. Thank you. Boop, boop, boop. American Express. Or MasterCard. Thank you. I'm excited about tomorrow.
I am too.
Yeah.
So, honey, today you wanted to talk about 3-minute game because a client who's a faithful listener, hi, recently was talking about how they are reading The Art of Receiving and Giving, Dr. Betty Martin's.
DBM.
She's
my friend. She's my friend.
She's my friend.
She's
I've
my
met her.
friend.
You haven't met her yet. Sorry.
What?
Sorry.
We talk
Sorry.
galactically. Go ahead.
You talk in the galactic spaces. I love that.
I'm talking the realm. I talk to her all the time in meditation, okay?
Anyway,
my friend.
Client is reading the book and was pointing out jokingly that the way that we have talked about 3-minute gain on this podcast is how it is such a pathway to beautiful and intentional erotic experiences within us. But that in the book, Dr. Betty Martin is very clear, and her co-author, Robin, very clear that it is absolutely crucial that we deconflate touch from sex. That in the practices, in the labs that Dr. Betty Martin teaches in the book, part of the entire process is to learn how we give and receive touch, to learn our first memories of touch, to relearn how to get pleasure from an inanimate object, i.e. waking up the hands. And so the client, again, was not critiquing us, but was just saying, this is opening my eyes because all of my life, touch has always led to sex. I don't have any remembrances of touch like this not being involved in a sexual experience.
Is it a safe assumption that someone with that experience didn't receive a lot of touch parentally? Is that a safe assumption?
Yes, no. Yes,
Okay.
no. Yeah. And that is such a beautiful thing to say because this client and so many clients will talk often about how naturally affectionate they are with their children. So not always. Not always. Mostly, aside from the parent-child relationship, our culture does not have many containers in which we can be affectionate touch-wise with our friends, our platonic friends. I said, go ahead.
Men have a lot harder time doing that than women, I'm assuming. And we're talking about American culture.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for correcting because other cultures are touching all like hugging, holding hands, kisses on the cheeks, throwing, hands on backs, rubbing backs. I mean, yes, I think it's such a gift to get to travel at times, such a privilege to witness how other cultures do touch and romanticism and platonic friendship and relationship. Yes. So in the hallway, I was like, is it safe to say that you and your friends, that you wouldn't go invite one of your other hetero male friends to play the 3-minute game?
My body was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
To the point that I was like, I wish I had saved that for the chairs.
I'm like a pro, like certified. Or
You
what
can't say that, but you have completed the entire Like a Pro training. Exactly.
I'm completely certified like a pro.
I told him he can't say that. I know you have to do more. Go.
And you asked me that. I go, what? Yeah.
And yet, inside of 5 days of container, did you play versions of 3-minute game with other men?
1,000%. Yes.
Was that uncomfortable?
No.
Why?
It was like, oh, this is something new. So it's not that it was uncomfortable, it was something new. And then I knew in my body I wanted to go to curiosity versus like anything else. And this was a safe, this is all we say now. This was a safe container. Mm-hmm. This was a place of curiosity.
Yeah. Talk to me about your understanding of doing a touch-based exercise and not courting arousal. What does that mean to you? What do you remember being taught about that?
Within this exercise, first, guidelines. So we're going to be very specific on where we're touching because the why is there. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to be very specific on where, like on the body. And it's not going to be genitals or actually any type of erogenous zone for the individual. Because maybe Me touching your neck would invite arousal more than it would for me touching the palm of your hand.
Yeah, I would say often it's best to start with just a hand.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And and if arousal comes up, that's okay. But also we're not chasing it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Where it may arise because this is touch based, but we're not courting it. It's not for that intention, and it can also pass, so it can move through you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why do you think the emphasis is on that? Why do you think it's important to do this game without courting arousal, chasing arousal?
Ooh, why? You would be better served answering that question.
Okay. I think there is such a tie in our minds around who touch is for, around indirect routes to pleasure, around getting enjoyment from someone else's enjoyment, around touching someone the way we think they want to be touched, around having to accept touch even though we don't like it because it's what the other person wants. I think there are so many scripts and narratives surrounding touch that it is so important to literally lay touch out on the table and dissect it. And one of the ways that we do that is by starting with a very platonic, usually, neutral space on the body like a hand. Yeah. And again, I highly recommend, my friends, The Art of Receiving and Giving, if you want to break this down, because in the book, it starts even sooner with a waking up the hands exercise, with finding
read the book.
An inanimate object.
Don't be stupid.
And
Read the book.
exploring that and exploring the difference between what do you feel of the object and then when is the object providing touch to you. I mean, it is a mind-blowing experience.
Let me speak to the guys. Guys, knock it off. Read the fucking book.
It's on Audible, too.
Let's get back to this one. Oh, yeah, and if you can't read, listen to it. Let's get back to this episode.
I have other clients. I have clients in male bodies who've read that book. Shout out. And it blew their mind. I mean, they were like, oh, this makes so much sense. Sorry,
what you said about dissecting touch, I know we're not courting arousal right now, but for me, our sex life has jumped up another level just simply based on who is this for. And also, I get to request now, honey, I would like to perform oral sex on you. I would like to penetrate you for my pleasure, which is like, holy shit. Because, being a good lover and taking care of someone in the bedroom, what do they like? What do they want? What kind of touch? What kind of things do they want? Ooh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this now. Great, right? And then it's like, oh, I don't have to do any of that. I get to chase my pleasure using your body, and we pre-discuss it. The whole like, oh no, I don't want to talk, or it's just take me, or it's like, I don't want to do all that. You're really limiting yourself. I understand that it's hot, but this is hotter. Like you're limiting yourself. You're leaving so much on the table.
I want to get into practicing the game in real time. What we talked about is doing a 1-minute version and letting folks hear on a hand the way we would play a non-sexual version. And we do non-sexual versions often, actually. And
Of a 3-minute game?
Yes.
We start.
That's what I'm saying, is that what we haven't talked about a lot in here, and I really want you to try to deconflate it from sex, is that because...
I'm not sexual. Mm-hmm. I'm completely not sexual. I've turned that chapter.
Let's turn that chapter.
Turn that book. Turn that... Fuck.
I have... No, turn the chapter.
Turn the page.
Oh, you've turned the page. You're now in your non-sexual era?
I'm beyond it.
Oh, he's risen above. I often encourage clients to play with friends when we are deconflating. Okay. And they often tell me, I don't know how to do that. And I give examples and they're like, wow, okay. Yes, that could be completely non-sexual. I hear that. And I think we failed to chat on here, not fail. I don't think we chat on here about the times that we do play versions that are completely non-sexual. And usually I'm requesting them because I want to come back into my body after a day of service, which makes sense, right? I want to find the 4 quadrants after I have sat in one role appropriately all day long. I am in the quadrant of service as a professional in a transactional client relationship. That is a beautiful place to be. It's where I should be. Who is it for? My client. They are compensating for my service. But it is very important to come back into my body before I'm in a sexual relationship with you. And then I'm like, oh, I just have to give all day long, right? Anybody who gives, parent, professional, no matter what, we can sometimes get stuck in that quadrant. So it's important to play non-sexually. Lost my thought. Oh, yeah. And I think it's great to play with friends. Yes, I do think that women are going to have an easier time culturally saying, hey, I'm working with a sexuality educator and a relationship coach, and she's really encouraged me to deconflate touch and sex. Do you mind playing a touch-based game with me? And I do think that culturally that's going to get less what the fucks than if you asked a heterosexual male. Interestingly enough, I think with many of our gay friends, I think they'd play with you. If you said like, hey, I'm trying to do this exercise, I think they would. And I think that's interesting.
Yeah, hetero on hetero is going to be a little more challenging.
Yeah.
It's like, Ryan, hold on. Before we tee off, let's play the 3-minute game. It's going to be a little bit more challenging.
I think that's more a timing issue if you were to ask me. It's a little distracting. Anyway, I think it's really good. But, I know what I was going to say. Before we play a mini version, just for example purposes, can we talk about the tender moment we had, speaking of who it's for, when we played the other day?
Yes. Yeah,
Because
sure.
we haven't talked about that.
No, we haven't.
No. Sunday?
Yeah.
During our normal Sunday sexy time?
Yeah. One of us got ouched during the 3-minute game. I think I ouched you. I think, yeah.
Yeah, so I'll share what I remember. Again, memory's not here nor there. You're going to probably remember it differently, so please tell your story. Yeah, we wanted to play to kind of get into our bodies. Mm-hmm. We'd had a beautiful slow morning, but it was like, yeah, we should have sex. Right? We want sex, but we had both been chatting and talking, looking at Zillow, doing all our favorite Sunday things. So it was like, let's 3-minute game it. So I asked you to sit on my back and just massage my back for my 3 minutes of how do you want to be touched. I gave you pressure suggestions. I said hard here, soft there, this, that, sit here, know this places, right? Gave a lot of boundaries, described pressure, surface area, all that kind of stuff. And timer went off. It was lovely. It is always funny. My first round, I'm always like, oh God, this has been so long. Oh God, when will the timer go off? It's so funny that I'm like, oh God, this is, you needed the game when your brain is going to timer. Interesting in my body. So next up was you. And I was like, babe, how do you want to be touched for 3 minutes? And to my memory, and please jump in here, you said, I'd like to lay down on my back. And I would like to feel your pressure on top of my body. So can you lay down on top of my body? Then can you use your face to kind of nuzzle me, go around and around with your face? No kissing. If your face wants to move down to chest, this is where it got interesting. If your face wants to move down to chest, and then if you, and I said, what about my arms? Where would you like my arms? And you said, oh, your arms can just do whatever they want. And I said, well, what would you like? And then you said, I want you to do whatever you want.
Yeah. Which is a big no-no in the game, and I should know this.
But it is frustrating when you're in that moment and you want to surrender, right? So to the person earlier, you were like kind of chastising of who's like, just take me. I get it. It's hard up front to negotiate all your wants. It's uncomfy. It almost feels like, it's taking some of the joy away. I just want to sit back and relax. But it gets really confusing. So yeah, I did kind of clam up. And you were like, oh, did I just out you? And I said, yeah, I want, this is for you. This is not for me. I'm going to get to ravish your body however I want to. Yeah. Well, I'm going to negotiate it with you in just a moment. But it gets confusing in my mind of, well, what if then I don't do what he wanted?
Yeah.
Because this is his turn. The gift is for you this time.
And I'm sure you could sense my mild frustration in my tone or my voice or whatever I said, because I said something where I was like, ugh, because I felt that. I felt like I just want to, I want to be touched right now. I don't want to answer all of these questions, which is like, I was you're trying to ask one question. And we ended up where hands go just behind my shoulders and kind of stay stationary. So I got specific, but it was hard for me, and I should know better. It was hard for me to be specific in the moment. I did feel feelings of frustration. And also I felt feelings of, I don't want to be coached right now. I felt feelings of like, no, I don't want to be coached. Which is like, hey, don't coach me. But it's like, that was on me. Where I could have gotten more specific, and I could have, because I was trying to go curiosity, don't get frustrated. And so, yeah, that was on me. That's my bad, babe.
That's okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good, thank you. It is fascinating, right? And then I will say my experience of touching you was so beautiful, because I knew I was giving you just what you wanted. It was so good. And the time for taking comes. And it is interesting. So this is kind of like last stages of concept of the wheel of consent and playing these types of games, is that great sexual encounters are not only requests and offers. They are also invitations to play together in a space. And so I need to be clear that your desire to share in wanting, to be like, hey, what I want with me is lovely and good and the best sex, and we have the best sex. But when we're going to do some dissecting, I think it's important, and goes against my ethic, if we're not really clear on who it's for.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was excited to just be in the service role, quite honestly. I was excited to check out, to not be chasing my pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we want that. And sometimes it's totally good to do that. And when I'm servicing you, I get to just be focused on your pleasure. And I didn't really want to think about mine right then. I wanted to think about you. And so it's really clarifying in my mind.
Were you feeling frustration as well by my lack of clarity?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then I felt like it was a trap, like desire smuggling. Like, I want you to want me so that I feel good.
What?
Just do whatever you want.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and that's like, no, that's not good. I was setting you up for failure.
In multiple ways.
Uh-huh.
One, why don't you want to do this to me?
Okay.
Right? Why don't you want me more? And then, so that's trap one that feels weird. It's like, you didn't want me enough. And I'm like, but this is for you. Like, why didn't you just tell me what you wanted? And then number two was, yeah, I don't like that. And it's like, well, you tell me to do what I wanted.
And this is going on in your mind.
In my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it.
And it's why the game is broken down the way it is. But anyway, you did a good job.
Okay, babe, would you like to play a version of the 3-minute game? We're going to shorten it up. You can watch this on YouTube and Spotify.
Mm-hmm. I'm nervous all of a sudden.
Make sure and click that.
Click that subscribe button.
You know what? Don't do it. Don't do it.
We haven't told the people to like, subscribe, follow
No,
in a long
don't.
time.
Don't. Do not. I don't like it. Yeah, can we do a abbreviated version, a 1-minute version, and is it okay if you take the lead since you are the professional?
I would love to. Is it okay if I coach you?
Fuck yeah. I'm highly coachable.
Most
sometimes.
of the time.
Rarely.
No, you're really coachable.
I am.
No,
But if I don't want to be coached, I can be a motherfucker. I can be a real brat.
You and the 14-year-old. It is wild how similar you two are. They're both projectors with splenic authority. And whoa. If they don't want to do something.
It's been this way since I was been a child. Like, if I don't trust you or if I don't get the message, you can go fuck yourself. It's been this way since I was a kid. Or if I wasn't interested.
Same with her.
All I've done is clash with
authority, quote unquote.
with authority, unless I trust you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you trust me in this instance? Okay. All right. So again, if you were going to do the labs inside of the book, they're going to go slower. They're going to start at a different level. This is just a basic version of the 3-minute game that you can play with friends and family and a lover. And all I want you to do is pay attention to all of the things that come up in your body when the gift is for you or the gift is for the other. All right, baby lover. How would you like to be touched on your hand for 1 minute?
I would love on my right hand, this part right here, what's it called? Kind of the in between your thumb and your index finger.
Okay.
I would love for you to take your right hand, kind of hook it, and then just medium pressure. And I'd love to kind of negotiate pressure when we start, or like do a check-in on pressure, and just do circles. Just circles right there. The rest of your fingers, they can kind of rest underneath. I don't need them to do anything. And I would love, in between my index and my thumb, like medium pressure and circles.
Do you feel comfortable sharing with me, doing a little practice round, and then as I go along, sharing things like 10% more, 10% less pressure, that type of thing?
Yes, I feel comfortable
Do you
with
feel comfortable negotiating with me if you'd like me to like change the rotation of this circle?
that. Sure.
Right? Like if that becomes a little too irritating,
Yeah.
or if you'd like the circling to stop and just be static. Does that feel comfortable in your body?
Love it.
Yeah, let me do a pressure check in. And yeah, can you get into a comfy spot? And I'm going to do the same as your service provider.
Thank you.
This is perfect. I forgot that I can move this microphone with me. Okay, yeah.
And
So
then for the sake of this,
typically-
we'd start a timer.
Yes.
For the sake of this, do you want to do about 30 seconds,
Sure.
honey? And then we'll just kind of eyeball it.
Sure.
Great.
So typically, I would encourage anyone to start a timer. Start with 1 minute. Start with 3. And also, typically, I'm going to grab a blanket really
Can I
fast.
share a self-consciousness?
Yes, you
I-
do that. I know. Yeah, go.
I am self-conscious about my hands at times because they sweat so much. So I just want to share that. And of course, if you're not okay with that, me and my sweaty hands, that's totally okay as well. But I just wanted to share that that's a thing that I get self-conscious about. I'd actually like to, if you're comfortable with it, kind of release feeling like I'm either kind of gross or making you uncomfortable. And of course, if you're uncomfortable with any of this, I'm not interested in doing it.
Thank you for sharing that. Thank you so much. If we were in a space where we could be wherever, I would want Trey's hand much more like on a pillow, much more relaxed, but you seem pretty relaxed right
Is it okay
here.
if we don't have this?
Oh, yeah,
This makes
yeah.
me hot.
Does it? Sorry. I was trying to emulate a pillow. My bad. Yeah. But I do like how Trey's kind of like resting his forearm.
I'm very comfortable.
But the purpose is that you really want in this exercise to be able to really check in on things like, you know, is Trey making himself, adapting himself to make it easier for me, right? And you start to notice all
Which
these
is a
little
default of mine.
adaptive patterns that we
Which is
do.
a 100% default of mine because it goes back to core things where I don't want to make other people uncomfortable, and I have a deep desire to make others comfy in a space, and I'm very good at it. It's been a superpower because it earns me a lot of money and it makes me friends.
And
And it's not my job to do right now.
yeah,
It's my job to be taken care of.
yeah.
Great.
What would they go around the room asking us? Like we'd all start to get set up, and they would go around going, "Is there anything that could make you 10% more comfy?"
10% more comfy, yeah.
Yeah. So again, if we were playing on our couch or something like that, we would really want Trey's body to be in prime comfiness, because you're right, his body has learned this narrative that what he brings to a space is his superpower of service. There's nothing wrong with that, but it can lead to, and the audience is very familiar with, resentment and things of it's all on me, I'm the help, these types of narratives. So this is an awesome deconditioning process.
And being taken care of is not exactly comfortable for me.
Yeah. Okay. So you had asked for my hand's kind of in
Oh,
here.
that feels fabulous, yes.
Yeah.
A little bit less,
Okay.
and then circles, even a little less, please. That's the ideal pressure right there.
Okay.
Oh, my God.
So if we had a timer, we'd be like, okay, let's begin.
Begin.
So typically I would be really silent and I would wait for Trey to give any pressure remarks. I would not be asking and checking in. You might have heard right away he let out a sigh. It's a really good sign. But Trey, for the sake of the exercise, could you give a pressure instruction or like some type of coaching for me?
This is ideal. Keep doing what you're doing. This is lovely. I have no notes. And let's assume time's up. So as the person, remind me being...
Who received the gift, who was accepting.
As the person who received and was accepting of the gift, I'm going to say to the person
serving.
Giving, yes, serving, thank you.
And then I say, you're welcome. It's really important that you do that and have eye contact. Then break. Yes. So then it becomes the other person's turn.
Yay. Okay. Lauren, how would you like me to touch your hand for 1 minute?
I would like to rest my hand just here. And can you trace my fingers really delicately all the way out to the tip of the fingernail, and then back down, and then out and back down, almost like your pointer finger is a little paintbrush. I know you don't have fingernails like I do, so that like the nub of your finger is totally fine. Yeah, and then go the perimeter of my hand, and then trace down and up, almost like when we were little in kindergarten, and then we do like a turkey drawing with our hand.
Outline.
Yeah. So outlining the same direction, I think, the whole time, so that my body can get used to it and isn't startled. Yeah.
I noticed at the beginning, your palm is within the other palm. Does that feel really comfy to you? And also, as far as my contact, would you like it just to be with my one index finger?
Just one finger.
Yeah, absolutely. And as far as pressure, firm, medium, light.
I think light is
Light
what I'm
pressure.
really craving.
And then can I do a check-in, say when we get to like the index or the middle finger on pressure?
Sure.
Great.
That sounds good. Yeah, and it feels good. Again, if I had a pillow here, I would be resting my hand on the pillow, but this feels very supportive and chilled.
Is there anything else that can make you 10% more comfy right now?
Not right now. If we were in a different room, my back would be leaning and I'd be comfy, but for the sake of this exercise, this feels really good.
Are you ready to begin?
I am. A little bit lighter, like 10% lighter, please. Perfect. And time. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So that was round one. Round two, the question is slightly different. It is, Trey, how would you like to touch my hand for 3 minutes?
Ooh, okay. I would love to have your palm down just like it is. I would actually love to have my right hand holding yours, and then I would love to squeeze your fingers one by one like they're little hot dogs. And then I'm gonna go back and forth, and I'm really just gonna focus on, it's like, you know, like they're yeah, and just kind of play with them individually. How does that sound?
Sounds perfect. Do you want access to my thumb too, or does this feel nice? These just 4 hot dogs.
This feels so nice because it reminds me of Adam's Family. What was the I can't remember he has his own name. Like he's a person.
Yeah,
So
the hand or the whatever it's called. Yep.
yeah, so it reminds me of
Cool.
Adam's Family. So I don't want access to your thumb, and also I am so comfy right now. Ooh, question: do I check in on your comfiness as the service provider because you're providing the service to me?
So yes, great delineation. So in this one, Trey is doing the action and the gift is for him. For so many people, this is a complete and utter mindfuck, which is why in our Like a Pro training, we start with taking because it's like we all need to understand taking and how we have been non-consensually taken from just in this world at large. So this is for him. No, I am to be mindful of my limits. So if something hurts, at the pressure, if I need to pause and ask for a change in something, if I need to ask for something else, you get to just have fun.
Great.
And know that I am mindful of my limits. Now, if for some reason you need a pause, take a pause and say, I feel myself, right, getting nervous about if this is annoying you. Mm-hmm. Sure, you can totally do a check-in like that. But yeah, this is a really big expansion in learning to trust our friends, to be mindful of their limits, because our culture is so weird with boundaries, and trust that I will stand up for myself. And it's a good exercise for me to practice sticking up for myself.
Great. Oh, can I request if I want to make sound effects?
Oh, I love that. Have fun with your sound effects.
Great.
Yes. Okay. I think that might have been one of my favorite parts of training, when you would just hear around the room like sound effects. Yeah. Okay. So we have started our fictitious timer and begin.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. So the greatest part about being and allowing for me is that you can enjoy taking a back seat. You can zone out. You can think about whatever else, but it is so precious to be able to allow access to your body in a way that you consented to, and knowing that consent can be revoked, of course, at any time. Yeah. So fun. So fun to get to literally just check out.
Lauren, how would you like to touch me for 1 minute? How would you like to touch my hand?
Thank you
for 1 minute.
Boundary. I'm sitting here looking at all the juicy veins in your hand.
Okay. Can I do a check-in, please?
Mm-hmm. No, like blood.
Okay.
Like I want to.
And just a reminder, we're not courting arousal currently.
That was not. I didn't mean that in a sexual way. Okay. I don't know what you're talking about. I meant it like a vampire way. Would it be okay?
She likes my veins, so.
He's a veiny man.
She does like my veins.
I truly mean this, y'all. What is so fun about this game is getting to just be fascinated with our partner's body. Mm-hmm. There have been things that I have noticed on Trey that I never would have noticed before, because we go as slow as the slowest part in this game. And I so appreciate getting to be in my taking and getting to just explore his body without this internal pressure. But if I do that, he'll think I'm leading him on. He'll think this means I want sex. And no, I just want to explore his veins. Like, you all saw that in just this 2 seconds. He was like, whoa, don't court arousal. And I really hadn't meant it like that.
Perfect.
And yeah, so if it's okay with you, may I hold your hand? I loved that for this purpose of this exercise, like this. And may I explore these primary veins just with this type of pressure, like the lightest pressure. And then may I also use my fingernail to go in the crevices of your knuckles, because they're just looking really juicy and like full of indentations. I also would love to do sound effects. May I do sound effects?
Yes. Can you give me an example of the pressure you're talking about?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's lovely.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Pressure. Great.
Mm-hmm, yeah, I don't want to. I just want to explore because they're so poofy.
Great.
Again, this is where it's so fun. Do you guys hear? He was giggling during his, and I can already feel the giggles coming on during mine. Anything off limits?
No.
Again, just similarly, I don't need your thumb.
If you could stay within what you just talked about, that is all so comfortable.
Yeah, and that is crucial,
Love
right? So that you can trust your taker as well. I'm going to just stay in these 4 knuckles. I'm going to trace those veins. Yes. Great. Fake timer begins. I don't even think I have that vein. Ooh. Sip, 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 sip. Zoom. Up. Zip. Zoom. Timer goes off. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That was so fun. Baby reflections. Observations.
How was your last where I was the how was your last round for you?
I love taking in this exercise, and I love when it is not sexual.
Mm-hmm.
It reminds me of being a child. It reminds me of playing in the dirt with a stick, and you are literally taking the purest of delight. It is a direct pleasure source. I find skin and wrinkles and veins like fascinating. It's like this whole wonderland of the body that we don't even touch because we just go to genitals. We just go to sex. We just go to someone else's pleasure. And this is for me.
Oh, so this is a wonderful way to explore, say, your partner, your long-term partner's body in a way that you've never explored before.
Yes.
And then you could even request that too, where it's like, how would you like, I always get confused, but it's.
May I do this to you?
Yeah. Or it's like, how would you like me to touch you? How would you like to touch me? I want you to focus on my neck. I want you to focus on the left side of my neck and explore, like you just do with my hands,
Yeah, sure.
the veins of my neck.
So I love giving a perimeter, like drawing a box around a body part.
Yeah.
Have fun with saying, okay, let's play the 3-minute game on our shoulder blade. Let's play the 3-minute game on our kneecap.
Great.
Let's play a 3-minute game. Hand is just nice and safe. It is so not associated. We hold hands. We shake hands. We do other things with our hands.
We give high fives.
Thank God we have like some non-sexual connections to hands. But you could do your right toe if you wanted.
Yeah.
Right? And again, breaking down serving and accepting and taking and allowing. Game changer.
Did arousal ever come up in your body?
No, a feeling of tenderness did it once.
Oh.
And that is something I would experience, and I was telling a client this, I would experience feelings of affection, appreciation for my partner, for access to their body in such a sacred way. But it wasn't arousing. It was 100% gratefulness for humanity, for their body, which was also cool. It was like, this could heal the world. What about you? Did arousal ever come up?
Yes, it was like a 2 out of 10,
Okay.
and for 2 different reasons. Because you are my biggest arouser, you are the ultimate fantasy still in my like sexual fantasy and sexual life, and also because I'm not supposed to be doing it at that time.
Almost like the violating of a prohibition.
Correct, but it was literally a 2 out of 10. And also, you showered this morning.
It's a rarity in this house, friends.
But
What
and
about...
then it came and then it went.
Cool.
My biggest sensory or my biggest feeling was when I was playing with your hand, and it was just like, oh, this is joyous and this is childlike. It reminded me of childhood.
Yes.
I got so much pleasure when you were playing with my hand, the very last one, when you were making your sound effects and doing your thing. It was like, oh, we're at a playground.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, it's so funny because I've shared that with a lot of people recently about the way we would play with friends on playgrounds.
Yeah.
I'd be like, come play. And if you sit and watch kids on a playground, not in a creepy way, you will see microcosms of who's it for, right? Push me on the swing, then I'll push you on the swing, right? Or Yeah, I want to do this. Great.
Shit, we're going to create this container of like, we're all like soldiers or spaceships now. And, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Come. It's an invitation. And I want to do this. Do you? Right. It's like wanting and willingness scale. I mean, it's fascinating. Kids know how to do these things. And I do think it becomes playful. It was so fun. And again, it is absolutely okay to take enjoyment, to have enjoyment, experience enjoyment as someone is taking from your body. What we want to watch is that we still, like I always talk about with my clients, energetically sending to our partner little thoughts of like, this is for them, this is for them, this is for them. It's like an energetic wish so that we stay in that place of, yes, play with my hand. That we don't start to take it for ourselves. And I think that is such a beautiful heart posture. And yeah, it just feels so childlike, and I love it. I love it.
And what's it called when I got so much joy out of you playing with my hand?
Enjoyment.
And I was in allowing.
Yeah, enjoyment.
Yeah, great.
Yeah. Enjoyment. It is okay to experience joy as a byproduct of being joyfully allowing. Yeah. It is really good. Really, really good. And so it takes the pressure off. Okay, out of all of them, serving, accepting, taking, and allowing, which is hardest for you?
Accepting, and I got the most joy from it. So of all 4 times that we played, when you were rubbing my hand specifically in the way that I wanted, I was the most relaxed. Where I really got to go in or sink in and just enjoy being taken care of, which is a practice for me.
Yeah, baby. High five. It is a practice. And what's wild is that what we have learned through this modality is that the more we can put that into practice, and the more Trey's body that was so conditioned in a service role can receive, the less resentment there is, the more feelings of being helped, that it is actually like his work on this earth to do, especially inside of our partnership, is to practice asking for more.
Yep,
I got to
for help
take care of him yesterday morning because of something. And it was so joyous.
I was hungover.
I wasn't going to rat you out. We went on a little staycation. Speaking of hotel sex, we told people we did this and we didn't even really talk about it. Maybe we'll talk about it next time. It was so joyous that I said, will you let me do this? Is there anything I can do for you? And you asked for ibuprofen. And I was like, yes, I'd love to do that. I'd love to do this. Yeah. And it was so fun to take care of you.
What was most challenging for you?
Ooh, interestingly enough, serving you. I get scared that I'm not doing it right.
Huh. Even though we have all of these guardrails, even though, okay, do you get to, when I say that's ideal, that's perfect, do you believe me? Oh.
Yeah.
Go in.
I don't think it's just you. I think it's years of existing in spaces where it was never quite enough.
That's beautiful. So that's your work to do, where
I've done enough.
Where it's like someone that you, hopefully, you trust me, says, this is perfect, and I'm literally turning into butter. Yeah. Where it's your work to be like, I'm going to choose to trust him, and then while I'm doing this, I can relax a little bit more. Great. Thank you. It's very vulnerable. Thank you, baby.
Isn't it funny, gentle audience, that we subconsciously find each other, right? We find these mates who excel in areas that we don't excel in, and strengths and weaknesses. And again, all of us do it as human beings. But I don't want Trey's body and nervous system to feel like, since he's more comfy in the service space, that he should be there. And that I should just be in acceptance, because that would just be easier.
It works at first, and then it deteriorates pretty quick.
real quick.
And then I can see where other people are like, I'm really strong at this. Why aren't you strong at this? I've been there.
Right. And most of it, again, is lived childhood experiences and stories we made up in our heads as little people about how we needed to show up. I don't even always think it was poor parenting. I think that as kiddos, we build stories to stay safe. And that's okay. That's an adaptive pattern. Anything you'd like to say about 1 minute game, 3 minute game, not courting arousal, why it's helpful?
Loved it. Play it more. We do need to wrap up, my love.
We do. Okay. Thanks for coming. This is the wrap up. Go play this game. Please keep in mind that you have a right to self-determination and informed decision making. And these are our ideas, our fun things. Please continue to do your research. These are our opinions and our opinions only. Please check out the work of Dr. Betty Martin. Please purchase The Art of Receiving and Giving to learn all about this modality. If you want to work with someone and you want to push into these things and more, you can go to sexedforyou.com/free consult. And I'd love a chance to talk with you. You can request a consult in there and we can chat about the work that I do and what you're looking for in this season. Like we said earlier, go like, subscribe, follow, share, all the rest. We'll talk to y'all soon. Bye-bye.